Hey team, thanks for checking out this video today. My name is Josh, and today we are going to be talking about the capo. What it does, how it works, but before we get into that, it's first really important that you understand the instrument that you're playing, your guitar. So whether it's an acoustic or electric, we're going to talk over the basic components of your guitar. So starting from the body and getting to the headstock, starting at the body, you have your bridge, which is where the strings attach, whether it's through a pin or whether it's a through body. Your strings start at your bridge, and then they travel to what they call the saddle, this bar right here, where the strings go across. That is the saddle. And from the saddle, your strings travel without touching anything else. They get to the bottom of the headstock where we find the nut. And then they travel to your tuning pegs, and so you can change the pitch of your string by twisting your tuning key. But they travel across the sound hole or the pickups without touching anything. They go across the fretboard and all the frets. And so that is the basic components of your guitar. Next we have the strings. Okay, so typically there are 6 strings, right? And they go in order of E, A, D, G, B, E. Typically, right? The thing that changes the pitch of each string, they're all the same length. And so the thing that changes the pitch of each string is going to be the thickness of the string and also the tension, or how tight the string is wound. So that's the main thing. But it's also the thing that changes the pitch of the string is when you place pressure on each fret space. And so where we have a string that is tuned to an E, right? The first fret, if you put tension there, you're raising that pitch a half step to an F. So where it was an E, now it's an F. And if you put your finger on the second fret, then it's raising another half step to an F sharp. The third fret, another half step to a G, and so on and so forth. So it's really important that you know your fretboard, right? Where each note is found on each string, it's great to know. So as you build up your knowledge of where each note lies on the fretboard, each note, as you add it, becomes a chord. So a chord is a bunch of notes put together, right? So where you have an E note, if you play an E chord, it sounds like this, right? And so it's important to know how your fretboard is made up. So you have an E chord, but the thing about playing for long periods of time is sometimes you have chords that, this is where the capo comes in, sometimes you have chords that are really uncomfortable to play for a really long time. One of those chords for me is like just bar chords in general. So first example is going to be a chord like an F. So where you have an E right here, if you were to scoot that whole chord up one half step, it would be a bar chord, and you'd play it like this. This is an F, right? And so using your finger, you are pretty much raising the nut on the fretboard by a half step. So you're playing that bar chord, that F, right? And so you could raise another half step and play F sharp, another half step and play G, right? So those are bar chords in general. And that's where your capo comes into play. So there are many different capos out there. This is a Jim Dunlop. It's a trigger capo, which is really nice. I've used them for a really long time. But you can get any different capo, and they all pretty much work the same. So what the capo does is it's pretty much being used as a traveling nut, right? So where your finger is raising that whole nut up when you play a bar chord, it's raising it up a half step. Your capo is doing the same thing. So where I'm playing an E here, right? I can put this on the first fret, so your tension is changing from your nut to your saddle. You're using your traveling nut, your capo, and that's changing that tension to the first fret to the saddle. So if I play the same fingering of that E, but with the capo on, now I'm raising that chord a half step and I'm playing a F, right? So if I know that the first fret is an F, then if I raise it to, say, the third fret, and I play that same fingering chord of that E, now I'm playing a G because I know that that first string there on that 3rd fret is a G chord. So you're raising each chord up a half step for each fret space. And so you've got your 1st fret, that's an F. 2nd fret is going to be an F sharp. Your 3rd fret is going to be a G. And so that's how you use a capo. And so it really is, the purpose of the capo is just to make it more comfortable when you're playing those longer songs or longer lengths of time in a specific key that is really uncomfortable. And so that's one of the uses. That's the main use of a capo. Thanks for jumping on this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope that you can move forward in your guitar knowledge and your experience using this capo. It's a great tool. So thanks for watching. Keep your eyes open for some more development videos. We'll see you guys later.